welcome to this edition of SAC News. I am Melissa Gonzalez.
And I'm Freddie Perralta. Thank you guys for joining us.
We begin with Women's History Month. March is Women's History Month, so Santa Ana College professors thought the time was right to show the film to más bebés. Our reporter Anthony Marquez Duran has the story. In downtown Santa Ana, people were in for a treat.
The street department had a free screening of the movies No Más Bebés, or No More Babies, as it's known as in English, to take part in Women's International Month. I went to main campus to have a look. So what made you guys pick this movie out of all the other movies you guys could have picked to describe this type of scenario that happened before?
That's a great question. I think as historians, we really like documentary style, and so this is not only documentary style, but then it's close to home. It's in LA County, and so that's relatively close to where we are. And a lot of these things, a lot of the issues that are presented in this particular film are still challenges that a lot of community members currently face. While it might not be forced sterilization, it might be lack of information about their health care or just access to health care in general, and especially for women, especially for immigrant women. So it's an issue that is close to home in a lot of different ways.
They enacted class action suit because what it did, it challenged this nation to look.
Oh man, well, as an instructor of history, I think there's lots and lots of lessons to learn, but I think one of the things that struck me the most was just how kind of intersegmental this issue really is when we talk about intersectionality, especially when we talk about women's history and women in particular. There's lots of different ways that this topic, while it might not be presented specifically in this film, this topic goes really broadly. So I think one of my personal aims is that people learn to think about all of these different ways that people's intersectionalities collide, if you will.
Issues that were important to Latino women in 1973 are still relevant today.
The film No Más Bebés, or No More Babies, affects me on a lot of different levels. So as a historian, it's really troubling to see how this history of eugenics in the United States didn't just stop back in the 1930s or 40s. It has persisted in different ways. I think on a much more personal level, it really angers me, the idea that a woman or any individual, but in this case especially a woman, wouldn't have the right to choose how to use her body or when she wants to have children.
Well, I learned that you should always communicate with your doctor and not trust them blindly, and whatever treatments or you get, you should be aware of it. And you should fully understand anything before accepting anything. Well, shocked and really sad because I've never heard of this happen. And it's just how is it possible? Those things are just so sad. It's shocking. It's a good film for history. Keep showing this to everyone. They're gonna learn a lot.
Roe v. Wade was overturned in 2022, affecting women's reproductive rights today.
These are larger questions in the United States today, especially with Roe v. Wade being overturned, and still a number of legislators and elected officials, mostly men, continuing to want to make decision about women's bodies for them instead of allowing women themselves to have their own rights, their own dignity. It hits me on a lot of levels. So I think the main thing I would want people to take from this film is to remember that history is not inevitable. Things aren't going to happen just because that's the way it is. It's that people make choices and take actions. And so, like the women in the film, we can be brave and talk about difficult things in order to take action to make this world a better place.
Here on the main campus, the History Department is honoring the Women's International Month by hosting multiple events throughout the month of March. Here at the main campus, Anthony Marcus Duran, SAC News.
In downtown Santa Ana, people were in for a treat when a Santa Ana College professor hosted a poetry reading.
Their pieces were strong and their message stronger. Julio.
Today I am the beauty of 1,000 mysterious years and 1,000 splendid suns. Today I am resilience.
It's here in the basement of the Santora Arts Building that poets gather to share their art.
I said they'll never get to the root.
Many of their pieces were influenced by modern-day politics.
It isn't fair to blame the dreamers.
But what message do they want to send to the audience?
I feel like everybody's voice is important. Everybody has something to add to it. For that exact reason, I think it's super, super important that you speak up, that you're heard. It's kind of right now. Now's the time.
Many of the poets feel like it's their responsibility to write poetry in order to inspire us to change for the better.
I feel mostly called during times like this, during times of chaos. Hopefully in another life, that's not my calling. I wish that there's a world in which I write about stars and butterflies and really beautiful things all the time.
Mr. Caesar Aguilar, everybody.
The event itself was put together and hosted by Santa Ana College professor Donato Martinez. Donato has been a professor at Santa Ana College for 29 years. He attends and performs in poetry readings in his spare time.
I've been doing this for a good number of years. At my campus, I invite a lot of poets, a lot of writers, a lot of people in the local community. So there's a lot of really great poets and great writers that I follow. And then before you know it, I invite them and we become friends and then we start collaborating on projects.
The Santora Art Walk takes place every first Saturday of every month. Reporting to you from downtown Santa Ana, I'm Julio Sanchez, SAC News.
It's a fictional film about the rise to power of the Mexican mafia in the California prisons, a film that changed the lives of many Hispanics and steered many young people away from gang life.
33 years since its release, the film American Me still resonates with its audience and touches the hearts of many Mexican Americans. Pablo Silvar reports from El Pollo Fino in Anaheim on the film's meet and greet.
The spirit of this film is one that continues to live on today and touch the heart of many Hispanics. Many famous and previous actors are here today at El Pollo Fino. Actors like Danny de la Paz, Steven Cisneros, Vic Trevino, Daniel Villarreal, and Panchito Gomez are all out here today showing lots of love to the Hispanic community.
I feel honored, to be honest. It's part of culture, it's what we grew up in. Definitely something that I really can't wait to see in person one-on-one. Hence is why I did what I did to my car.
It was a tough choice because they didn't have the young guys at first in the film. So he wrote that for us, for Richard Coca and myself. And then Steve Wilcox came into the picture. So it was, we battled like regular actors, and it was tough because, I'm playing two characters basically. I'm playing the real Cheyenne, and I'm playing Olmos. So it was a little difficult for us, the young guys, to keep up with everything. So it's good, I know that some of those kids got out of the gang life, and there's a couple that became actors. Some became grips and technicians and stuff like that. So it did good. Not only that, but to the youngsters when it came out, it showed them that there's not a good life to lead, that these are the consequences that come about that sort of lifestyle. Yeah. So, in a sense, it helped. It helped a lot, thank God.
You heard it there, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone,
look out
Panchito Gomez.
Thank you very much. God bless you, guys.
Thank you very much, man. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been Pablo Silvar, SAC News.
American Me was produced and directed by Edward James Olmos, who also played Santa Ana.
El Pollo Fino in Anaheim hosted the Reunion. The restaurant often hosts such events, typically Hispanic films and actors.
Federal government keeps slimming down. The feds are putting their 9-story building in downtown Santa Ana up for sale. The Santa Ana Federal Building is Orange County's second federal property, put on the market in the last year. Santa Ana Federal Building on Santa Ana and Civic Plaza has been listed by the General Services Administration as a non-core property. This building includes judges, courtrooms, citizens, and immigration services, and ICE. Last year, we saw the Ziggurats Federal Building in Laguna Niguel sell for $177 million. No word on the price for the Santa Ana Federal Building.
Santa Ana College will be having its annual Kinder Caminata next Friday, March 28th. The event brings in dozens of school children from across Santa Ana and is a great way for younger generations of students to get a sense of what education is going to be like in their future. Tiny tots, some as young as 5 years old, will have the chance to immerse themselves into the college world without the stress, of course. SAC aims to show the younger generations that college is possible for anyone and that their doors are always open for them.
Old Town Orange has adopted a new initiative that may come as a shock to residents and students.
Reporter Maylee Robles teases a new investigative story in Orange Circle.
Get extra change in hand, even if you are a resident. The Old Town Orange City Council met early last month to vote on an ordinance that plans to implement paid parking. After a 4-2 vote, the official act was approved. The Old Town mayor voiced his appreciation and support during the meeting.
This type of program would also reduce traffic because it will eliminate people from circulating around looking for parking.
The program will take effect starting this fall. The paid parking map will expand from the Circle to Lemon and North Grand Street and will be in effect from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day, including weekends. The charges will be as high as $2 per hour in some spots, as law enforcement will be checking via license plate reading cameras.
Governor Gavin Newsom's term is coming to an end, and there's no shortage of folks lining up to run the Golden State. Newsom won office in 2018 and again in 2022, but his term limited out. There are a number of candidates running to replace him. They include former Los Angeles Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa, Lieutenant Governor Elena Kounalakis, former Orange County Congresswoman Katie Porter, and Riverside County Sheriff Republican Chad Bianco. There is another potential candidate drawing lots of attention. Former Vice President Kamala Harris is considering running for governor. Harris has given herself till the end of summer to decide if she wants to run. If she were to run for governor, polls show Harris would be the favorite, as a San Francisco Democrat in Deep Blue, California. And then there's name recognition, of course, as she recently ran for president. The gubernatorial primary is on June 2nd of next year. Top two, regardless of party, advance to the runoff on November 3rd.
Get ready for an interactive and educational experience at Discovery Days at Centennial Farm in Costa Mesa. The hands-on program is open to all grade levels and the general public. It allows visitors to explore self-guided tours, plant radish seeds, learn about chick development, see oxen demonstrations, and observe livestock animals, including swine, goats, sheep, cattle, rabbits, and poultry. The event will take place on April 1, 2025, from 9 a.m. to noon. Groups of 10 or more must register in advance, while smaller groups may attend without a reservation. Reservations can be made online at ocfair.com/farmtours. When we come back, Dawn's Sport Weekly coverage.
And the weather for the week.
We'll be right back.
You're watching SAC News.
Part of the reason why I chose online classes was because it gave me the ability to plan my study schedule around my busy work schedule and busy life. I am a mother of 3 kids and they have a very busy lifestyle, so I have to be able to attend to that. I have taken on-campus classes. They do take a lot more time. A lot of the times you interact with students on the discussion board, so it's kind of nice to collaborate with the students there. I do move along faster in these classes because the 16-week courses are crammed into an 8-week course. So with that being said, you're doing like 2 chapters a week versus a chapter a week. I am looking to graduate this spring and transferring to Cal State Fullerton. So I'm very close.
My goal wasn't to have a great program just at Santa Ana College. When I came here, my goal was to have one of the best programs in the country. When you come here, we aren't trying to rush the students through a program. We're actually taking time. We're getting to know the students personally. The first time a student came to me and said, "Hey, I got a career and I can provide for my family now." You know, that's really what gets me excited about teaching, and my passion that drives it is helping people succeed in life.
Lose it. Take it. Airspeed 1.
Now for the weekly weather. After a week of random crazy weather, we start our Friday with a sunny 71 degrees. This sunny weather continues through the weekend with Saturday and Sunday topping at 69 degrees. Monday being a nice 73 degrees, follow up with Tuesday being 71 degrees before we cool down a bit on Wednesday at 68 degrees. And with Thursdays with a warm 67 degrees. Sunshine all week. That's it for this edition of SAC News.
Be sure to follow us on social media and watch previous episodes of SAC News on our YouTube channel.